Asian and Pacific Islander businesses are booming in the district. They are more connected, engaged, and ready to build than ever before. I'm Tamika Felder, and this is Business Buzz. The Mayor's Office on Asian and Pacific Islander Affairs held an event to bring together business owners and unveil their new CEB initiative. Connect, Engage, Build is an initiative to connect Asian and Pacific Islander retail businesses to district government resources so that those businesses can engage with the district and help build and diversify the district's economy.
What is Connect, Engage, and Build? What is CEB? So it is literally to connect the small retail business owners with the available government programs and resources with linguistically and culturally competent manner, and also engage them with, and also connect them with other business owners and connect them with the neighbors they serve, so they can become more engaged, so that way they can grow their, and they can build their business better, and therefore they will contribute to grow and diversify the district economy. So it's sort of an idea of this initiative. So what does that mean? And also I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of the projects inside. One of the projects inside is called Project Build. So the Project Build is a pilot program first, and which is that we are matching MBA candidates with our small business, our retail business owners with language and cultural barriers, so they can actually get business analysis and recommendations from these students, matching students, and at the end of the process, at least they will be able to get a comprehensive business plan from these business school students. So that way they can actually understand better about how to operate their business, and they can also continue to grow with us in this growing economy in DC. So of course that we can't do all of this without the great and huge support from other agencies, and I would like to mention some of those our government partners who are with us today. First of all, DCRA. And if you can actually, Nick Majet is here. If you can come forward. One second. And HBX, yeah, if you can come forward. Mila is here. Is she still here? And DHCD, Mr. Michael Kelly. And DSLBD, Mr. Rob Summers. And Office of Community Affairs, Mr. Steve Glade. And Office of Clean City Initiative. Carl Thomas is not here yet. So these are the agencies that we are actually working closely with. So these are the official government partners that we are working. And also we have many other dedicated community partners as well. We have Chinatown Steering Committee. Stephanie Cheng is here, right? Chinatown Steering Committee, yeah. And we have Fujianese Association, Georgetown University, Korean American Dry Cleaners Association, Korean American Grocers Association, Many Languages, One Voice, Vietnamese Roadway Vendors Association, Ward 7 and 8 DC Prevention Center, Ward 7 Safe and Drug-Free Communities Coalition, and Washington Area Liquor Retailers Association. Thank you so much for being our community partners. So at this point, I would like to introduce the person, the leader who actually gave us great directions through the One City Action Plan so that we were able to put together such a great initiative, and who actually inspires us every day with his passion and love for the city. You know who I'm talking about, right? So Mr. Mayor, Mayor Vincent C. Please welcome.
All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing, guys? All right, good to see you all. I always love coming down here. It's just something about this building that just feels good. And good stuff happens here. You know, it used to be, kind of an image of DCRA, and that is if you had to go there, you never would come out. What was that? What was that? Nick, yeah. Nick told me once that DCRA, somebody changed the name. This is terrible, isn't it? Somebody changed the name to DCRA from Department of Consumer and Regulatory Affairs to Don't come, run away. Yeah, a reporter? How cynical. Thank you. Well, it's not that anymore because, you know, Nick and those working with him have done such a great job in making this a very friendly place. I had someone other day, Nick, who walked up to him and he said, I just want you to know that I went down to DCRA to get some business done. He said it was unbelievably efficient. He said I was in and out in 5 minutes. And that was he was rendering a great compliment. And, you know, I hope people get to the point where that's just routine for them, and I think it's getting there. And all the rest of you guys, I want to thank you all for what you do. I want to thank Julie for what she does with our Office of Asian and Pacific Islander Affairs. She is a hard-working lady, always has good ideas, connects with people, and does a great job in making sure that our community of Asian and Pacific Islanders, people who are from Asian and Pacific Islander, backgrounds, feel comfortable in the District of Columbia. Thank you, Julie, for what you do also. And then Steve, who directs our Office of Community Affairs, has all of our offices, has 13. Is it 13 offices? 12 now. 12 now, okay. Did we get rid of one? I see, okay. That's right, I know where that one went over to the public safety cluster, right? Absolutely, exactly. Steve, I want to thank you. You are out in the community all the time. You were with us last night up in Ward 4 at an ANC meeting, and that was actually fun. It's actually fun to go out in the community and talk to people. Oh, there's one of our directors over there. Come on up here, Ngozi. We were with her last night also. We were all over the place last night, weren't we? And then Rob, of course, runs our office of DSLBD, how's that, Department of Small and Local Business Development, and that is a challenging office. It's one of the things that we've been able to do also, and that is through a task force that was put together, develop a new streamlined approach to our efforts there, including, I think we've added 50% more staff in DSLBD too, so. You're welcome, Robin. We expect 50% more production also. And then Mike, who runs our Department of Housing and Community Development, Michael Kelly, a longtime friend, somebody who I admire and respect greatly, has one of the most important jobs in the District of Columbia, and that is to be able to make sure that we do everything we can to keep people here. I was at an event this morning over in the Carver Terrace, Maryland Avenue area, where we cut the ribbon on a development with the William C. Smith Company that is resulting in 408 affordable units in the District of Columbia. And we have to do everything we can to make sure that people can stay in the District of Columbia, don't we? And that is exactly what his job is. And Mike, we thank you for what you do. And then the lady who's really, I would say, on the spot at this stage. How many people have ever heard of the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare? You ever heard of that? Anybody in the room ever heard of that? Well, Mila has the job of running our Health Link in the District of Columbia on our behalf. And I don't have any reservations about saying it has gotten off to a fantastic start. I was reading last night some of the most recent data. I think they said 106,000 people nationally, but we've got a pretty big chunk of the people who are included in that 106,000. And in fact, I hope you know about the hearing next week. We've been invited to participate in a hearing at the Senate to talk about our launch of our marketplace, our electronic marketplace here in the District of Columbia. And it really has gotten off without a hitch. There have been no problems, and she's the one who spearheaded making that happen. We've got all our staff hired, the electronic, the intranet work, let me put it that way, has all gone very, very well at this stage. And what do we have? How many people have? Several thousand, is that right? Who've already signed on, who've established accounts? 800 or 900, there's more than 800 or 900 businesses, right?
700 accounts have been established, and we get all of Congress.
Yep. And now you get the, you get rewarded by being able to go to a hearing up on the Hill. I would go with you, but no, it'll be fine. And we were asked, because of the great job that's being done, to launch here in the District of Columbia and to make additional health care insurance available to people. And frankly, that's one of the things we want to do. You know, what Julie is doing is trying to reach out to more of our Asian and Pacific Islander businesses, many of which are small businesses here in the city, many of which I'm absolutely sure don't have insurance coverage. And those are the folks that we want to work hard to cover. Probably some of the people who are in this room fall into that category. So there is a real, link, no pun intended, there's a real link there between, what your needs are and, what Julie is doing and what Mila is doing in order to make that happen. You know, we did launch the 5-year economic development plan, which came from our One City action plan, which Julie talked about. And this is the economic development strategy, which we actually follow quite diligently. And one of the things that we said we wanted to become was the most business-friendly economy in the nation. And that means that Nick has to be able to do his job well. He is now co-chairing a task force in which our business reform, regulatory reform task force, in which we're trying to reduce some of the regulations that are imposed on businesses. You know, the last thing we want to do is run people out of the city because they either can't figure out how to do business in the city, or once they do figure out how to do business, they wish they were somewhere else and not in the District of Columbia. And in the past, our regulations have been a problem. Is that right, Nick? And I think you're moving towards completing the first phase of that effort now. So we are a growing, developing city. Julie alluded to that earlier. How many of you know that we are adding between 1,100 and 1,200 people net a month in the District of Columbia? We have now 632,000 people who live in the city, probably more than that, because the last time we counted or the census counted, was in July of 2012. So you do the math. If we're adding 1,100 to 1,200 people a month in the city, that means we probably have added another 15,000 folks since the last census data were taken. And we're trying to create a response to that makes clear that we want to continue to grow. We want to be a place where people want to live, and that's a big function of the folks who are standing up here. One of the other things that we are focused on as a part of our economic development efforts is to be able to ensure that this is a place that is welcoming to people. You know, we've done a lot of work on the immigrant front to try to make this a more friendly place for people to come to. One of the things that we did was, because we have a number of undocumented immigrants in the city, but one of the things that we did was to say that we're not going to become an enforcement arm of the federal government, that we're not going to get involved in people's immigration status unless there is some criminal activity involved. Because we want people to want to live here, and we want people to feel that we trust the people who live in the District of Columbia. And a great way to breed mistrust is for people to think who they are here, that somebody is always in their life trying to figure out what they're doing, why they're here. That isn't democracy, and that isn't freedom. And that's what we want people to experience when they come here. So I issued an order now over a year ago that said, we would not be an arm of the government to implement what's called secure communities, that we are a sanctuary city. We are a place where people can feel like, again, we will not get in the middle of your immigration status unless there's some, law enforcement reason to do that. Otherwise, we're not going to do that. And the other thing we just did, and we're signing the legislation next week, is to give people who are undocumented immigrants an opportunity to have a driver's license or to have some form of ID that will help them even further legitimize their presence here. Frankly, there's a practical reason for it, and that is that people will, if they can't get a driver's license, some people will drive anyway, and you may wind up having bad consequences as a result of that. And then there's a more principled reason, and that is it's just the right thing to do. And that is to give people a chance, if they want to be in America, give people a chance to experience what Americans experience. In fact, wouldn't it be nice if we in the District of Columbia experienced what every American experienced, and that is democracy? Yeah. Anybody ever heard of democracy? I mean, it would be wonderful, wouldn't it? I'm not going to get all off on this because once I get started. But did y'all follow the shutdown of a few weeks ago? Wasn't that a brilliant thing to do? It was an effort to shut the District of Columbia down also. We were supposed to submit our shutdown plan. And we did. We got together and we all came up with our shutdown plan, didn't we, Mike? And our shutdown plan was about that long. Basically said that all operations of the District of Columbia and every employee in the District of Columbia is considered essential. So we're not shutting down anything in the District of Columbia. And it's time, ladies and gentlemen. I could spend about an hour talking about this, and I'd be happy to, but not today. But it really is time, ladies and gentlemen, for us to be able to control our own budget. This is our money. It's the money that belongs to the taxpayers of the District of Columbia, and we ought to be able to have the authority to make the decisions, the final decisions, about how we spend our money. Same thing with our own laws, and also having a vote for our Congresswoman. But today, we are connecting, we are engaging, and we are building, right? And Julie has explained to you already what that means, but it really is just wholly consistent with being one city. And that is, if you really want to be one city, you've got to do everything you can to make sure that people get connected. There are people who thought when when we announced this concept of one city, that we meant everybody would get along with one another. Now, isn't that ridiculous? I mean, it would be nice, and that's a nice goal, but that wasn't what it meant. What it really meant is that irrespective of where you live, you get an opportunity to be able to experience the same opportunity, frankly, as everybody else. That whether you live in Ward 1 or Ward 8, Ward 2 or Ward 7, Ward 3 or Ward 6, Ward 4 or Ward 5, that you have a chance to be able to have the same things available to you. And that's what all of them have been working towards, and the rest of us have been working towards. So that when we look across this city, when you see this symbol, which is right there, and when you see this pin, it means that all 632,000 people have an equal opportunity to experience the good life in this city. And that's why we've got to continue to connect, we've got to continue to engage, and of course we've got to continue to build. And we are building in this city also. You seen any cranes in the city recently? I think we have 60 cranes. I heard somebody say yesterday, which I thought was kind of an uninformed comment, that we can't measure economic development by the number of cranes in the city. Well, I didn't say we should, but it is a way to tell it there's things going on, right? We have a lot of other ways of doing that. But one of the most tangible ways for people coming into the city is to see what's going on in the city. To come in a place like DCRA and get your business done and get your business done quickly. To know that housing and development is taking place. To know that you can get health insurance. To know that if you are a small business, you will get the help that you need. And to know that if you want to do something in one of our communities, we have offices that really are there to be able to help you. Dynamic offices that are run by people who care about these issues. So I ask you to continue to work with us, to work with Julie. We should adopt that name for everything. We should be connected and engaging and building with everybody in the city, not just the Office of Asian and Pacific Islander Affairs. So I'm sorry you guys had to stand up here this whole time, all right? Yeah. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. The moral support feels so good. You literally have my back, right? Anyway, thank you all very much for being down here today. Thank you so much, Nick, for hosting us. And thank you very much, Julie, for putting on this for us today. Thank you.
Well, I got too excited to see the mayor coming in earlier, so I forgot to mention a couple of things. First of all, I would like to thank my staff, especially Dory Peters. Where's Dory? Yeah, Dory actually did a lot of work and spent a lot of hours to put this event together. Thank you so much, and all the staff members from OAPIA. And also I mentioned about the pilot program that we did for Project Build. And we had 5 matches with the MBA students and the business owners. And their accomplishments are highlighted through the PowerPoint presentation, so you can take a look at it. And more information about the CEB, so Connect, Engage, and Build. We have so many different programs underneath, including Adopt the Block program that we would love to engage more business owners to really adopt the block and join the clean initiative. So you can take a look at it. We have a fact sheet, but of course I'm not gonna be in the way. First of all, we want to have Mr. Nick Majet, who is the director of DCRA, to close this event, and you're gonna have more opportunity to eat good food. And for that, I would like to thank Mr. Gary Chu, who is one of our Project Build graduates, I should say. And he has actually provided all the food and drinks. So thank you so much for your support. So Nick.
Thank you, Julie. Julie and I go way back, and what a way to introduce me. I'm standing in between you and food, right? Okay. I'm just going to be very brief, but I've worked with Julie for probably almost 10 years. I was with the Attorney General's office, and we met when my assignment was to get rid of the Chinatown buses. And at that time, they weren't licensed, and there was a new concept. People weren't aware of it. So, of course, we did the opposite. We didn't try to get rid of them. We tried to make it easy for them to operate in the district and easy to get licenses and so forth. So we've always been advocates of businesses in the District of Columbia, and it's paid off in volumes. One thing about, the mayor mentioned the importance of getting business licenses and permits and how important that is. And I remember him saying in one of his speeches that Costco, who we actually helped expedite their permits. The first 3 days that they were open, they made over $700,000 each day. So that was $2.1 million in 3 days. And if you add the taxes they paid, the wages they paid, the sales taxes, the property taxes, I mean, it really benefited everybody. It was mutually beneficial for the business as well as the District of Columbia. So, you know, helping businesses to get their licenses and so forth in a speedy manner is very important. So I'm glad to be a partner with Julie. In fact, we are also partnered with Steve and his staff, and we just did an initiative with the Office of African Affairs, and we're going to roll that out pretty soon, and Julie's also part of that. I won't talk about it today, but just briefly, it's involving getting rid of synthetic drugs, which is really detrimental to our youth. And we're going to work with the businesses. We're not going to, punish the businesses. We're going to work with them to comply with the law and not sell these illegal drugs and drug paraphernalia. So, and the mayor also mentioned our Business Regulatory Reform Task Force. In fact, I ran into somebody today, and we're going to look at the requirement that small businesses have boiler licenses, which is very onerous. It's a law that was probably enacted when they used to use coal to furnish boilers, which we don't have anymore. So that's probably something we're going to eliminate, that onerous requirement, and we'll do that through the Business Reform Regulatory Task Force. And there's some other initiatives you'll hear about that will help, small businesses, well, all businesses, one city, everybody benefits the same, equal opportunity. So with that, I'd just like to say welcome. Thanks for coming. Our doors are always open. If you need any assistance, let us know. And we're going to create a more business-friendly environment, and we're going to streamline the processes. So thank you for coming, and thank you, Julie. Okay.
The DC business is very good. Have a lot of opportunity on that. So anybody have the thought and want to open business in DC, I think the Pacific Island affair will give a lot of help on that.
We want to really let people know that we try to really connect and engage our small business, retail business owners, especially with the ones with the language barriers. And we want to really connect them with the available government programs and services in a linguistically and culturally competent manner, so they can actually build their business, and in return, so they can also help to grow and diversify the district's economy.